Good morning, students. This is Dr. Shubhi, and in this session, we will discuss two types of hypotheses which are commonly used in research: null and alternative hypothesis. Now, let's quickly revise what was hypothesis. Basically, whenever we talk of research, we say a scientific process starts with generation of hypothesis. If we cannot have a hypothesis, we cannot start a research work. It is an assumption that we have to keep in our mind, and then only we can start a scientific process. It refers to a supposition or an assumption which is totally based on reasoning and evidences. Now suppose I have a lot of logics in my mind and I have some proofs as well, then I can always say this is my hypothesis, this is my assumption, and I can go about it and start my research work to find out how far that hypothesis is true. Should I accept that hypothesis or reject that hypothesis? So all the researchers basically try to conduct certain observations through data collection methods and some experiments, and on the basis of those observations and experiments they try to find out the facts and forecast the possible outcomes. So mainly we can say that hypothesis is an assumption or a supposition which is totally based on the researcher's reasoning and evidences, and it is the start of a research work. Now let's see what is this null hypothesis. We all can say that certain statements about the population are existing. We can say they are truths or they can be a myth. So what it is, that is basically a null hypothesis. We can say it is a statement about the population which need to be believed or not. Now, for example, we can always say that people think, okay, there is no connection between carbon and rising temperature. There is no relation between the two variables. That no matter how much carbon we consume, there it is not affecting the climate change and it is not increasing the temperature. So this is a null hypothesis that most of the people think, because there are many reasons. They are unaware, they don't know the science behind carbon, they don't know the science, they don't know catenation, and they don't know lot many things about carbon and its properties, and how much time does it take to recycle, and if it can we recycle it or not, can we is it biodegradable. So these are the things which people don't know. So there can be a null hypothesis that there is no relation or no connection between the two variables, that is rising increase in carbon and rise in temperature. We can always say this is a null hypothesis. Now I make an alternative hypothesis which is a claim, and it is a claim by the researcher about the population that is contradictory to your null hypothesis. Now I say that there is a relation between carbon and rising temperature. So I'm saying there is a relation between the two. This is alternative hypothesis. This is the hypothesis which I have claimed, which I have created, or it's boggling in my mind. So this is alternative hypothesis, which is a researcher's hypothesis, and we always denote it by H1 or HA. You can also say that alternative hypothesis is opposite of null hypothesis. I'm taking you back to null hypothesis, where you can see that there is no relation between carbon. So whenever we talk in terms of no relation, no connection, and we're talking in terms of no, in that case it is a null hypothesis. And when we say there is a relation between two variables, maybe greater than, less than, greater than, equal to, any kind of relation is existing, then it is called as an alternative hypothesis. Now students, I want to tell you one more thing, that the testing is always done on null hypothesis, because when we say there is no connection, no relation between two variables, so it is easy to test that there is no relation which is existing between two variables. And this question was asked in UGC net exams also, that testing is done on null hypothesis or alternative hypothesis. So the right answer is null hypothesis, because showing that there is no relation between two variables is far easy as compared to saying that there is a relation between two variables. Because when we talk about a relation between two variables, then more variants of that hypothesis comes, how much relation, greater than, less than, what percent. So it becomes tough to test the alternative hypothesis. So the testing is mainly done on null hypothesis, and on the basis of null hypothesis, whether it is accepted or rejected, we try to say whether alternative hypothesis is right or not. Quickly come to this table and understand the mathematical terms now. If I say null hypothesis is equal to, suppose the mean is equal to 60. If I say the mean of the class, mean average of the class is 60, in that case, the alternative hypothesis will say it is not equal to 60, which is opposite of null hypothesis. Or we can say it is greater than or less than 60, which means that if I'm saying that my null hypothesis is saying that yes, my class, the percentage is 60, all the students get almost 60%. This is my null hypothesis. So this is what a teacher assumes, that all come somewhere near to 60. But if I want to introspect the data and then I want to see, then I will find out that there are few students who are not getting a average near to 60. Maybe they are outliers. So alternative hypothesis is just opposite of null. It is not equal. Now suppose my null hypothesis says that the average percentage of class is greater than or equal to 60, which means all are 60 plus. 60 plus means 60 and more than 60. Then the alternative hypothesis will say that the class average is less than 60. Likewise, if the null hypothesis says that the class average is less than or equal to 60, then the alternative hypothesis will say it is more than 60. So that is how these two hypotheses are written. Let's come to certain examples and understand it in a better way. Now we say null hypothesis is saying in this example, no more than 30% of the registered voters voted in the primary election, which means no more than 30, which means the number of voters voted in the primary election were less than equal to 30 in terms of percentage. So the percentage is less than equal to 30. So now this is my null hypothesis. This is the hypothesis which is a hypothesis of the population. And now the researcher says more than 30% of the registered voters voted in primary elections, which means P is greater than 30. So you can say when null hypothesis is saying P is less than equal to 30, alternative hypothesis is saying that P is greater than 30. Now, this alternative hypothesis is my hypothesis, researcher's hypothesis, but we will try to test the null hypothesis. Let's take one more example. A medical trial is conducted to test whether or not a new medicine reduces cholesterol by 25%. So a trial, or you can say a testing, was done to find out whether a new medicine is reducing your cholesterol by 25% or not. So our null hypothesis will say the drug reduces cholesterol by 25%. We are saying the drug reduces the cholesterol by 25%, and how we write? Percent equals to 0.25. So P equals to 0.25. This is P is our parameter. We will discuss this in details in the coming lecture. Just focus on the language, how we write hypothesis as of now. Alternative hypothesis will say the drug does not reduce cholesterol by 25%. So this is totally opposite of it. So we can say P is not equal to 0.25. So if my null hypothesis is saying P equals to 0.25, my alternative hypothesis will say P is not equal to 0.25. Let's take one more example. Here we are just talking about a case. We want to test whether the mean GPA of students in American colleges is different from 2 out of 4. I repeat, we want to test whether the mean GPA of students in US colleges is different from 2 out of 4, which means that the null hypothesis say that the mean is equal to 2 and the alternative hypothesis will say mean is not equal to 2, because we want to test whether the mean of students is different from 2. So different from 2 is what? It is not equal to 2. As simple as that. So this is how we write the null and alternative hypothesis in mathematical language or in mathematical notation, and this mu is called as mean. Quickly come back to the table and again revisit what we have discussed. When the null hypothesis, I repeat, when the null hypothesis is saying equal to, the alternative hypothesis will say not equal to. In alternative hypothesis, we are trying to establish a relationship between two variables, that there is a relationship, there is a connection between two variables, maybe in terms of greater than, less than, more than. And in the null hypothesis, we try to say there is no relation between these two variables. Things which are going on in the population are absolutely right, and we can go ahead with the null hypothesis. Let's quickly try one more example. We want to test whether the mean height of 8th graders is 66 inches. State the null and alternative hypothesis. So now it's a kind of question where we have to test whether height is equal to 66. So as the name suggests, we have to fill the correct symbol for the null and alternative hypothesis. In null hypothesis, we will say it is equal to 66, and an alternative hypothesis, we will say it is not equal to 66. Let's take one more example. We want to test if college students take less than 5 years to graduate from college on the average. So we are saying, we are testing if the college students take less than 5 years. So what are we testing? My idea is, my hypothesis, I want to check whether students take less than 5 years or not. So my alternative hypothesis becomes mu less than 5. And then what becomes the null hypothesis? The opposite of less than. So it becomes greater than equal to 5. I again repeat in this example that we want to test if college students take less than 5 years to graduate from college. So this is my idea. I'm trying to find out whether students graduate in lesser than 5 years, and I put my hypothesis as mu less than 5. I am saying mu is less than 5. And what the null hypothesis is saying, mu is greater than equal to 5, which is the normal case. As per the current scenario, it is the normal case, and this is my hypothesis which I am testing, and if it is true, in that case we will say that students take less than 5 years. So that is we are trying to find out. So students, the null hypothesis, in the null hypothesis there is no significant difference between the populations. We say, when we say null hypothesis, there is no difference in the population, and it is denoted by H0. On the contrary, alternative hypothesis is denoted by H1 or HA. And here, this is the researcher's hypothesis which he is saying, and for that hypothesis, sample observations are done to find out whether this hypothesis is true or not. So students, we have just discussed the difference between null and the alternative hypothesis, and how we can write these hypotheses in simple English using the mathematical notation. And in my next lecture, I'll be coming with two types of errors, which is type 1 error and type 2 errors, which occurs when the hypotheses are accepted or rejected. So stay tuned to my channel Shubhi Lal on YouTube, and in the coming lecture we will be discussing null and alternative hypothesis with two types of errors associated to it. Have a good day. Thank you.